Hi, welcome back to another edition of Political Points on SooNews.ca. We're on the February 17th edition, 2011, moving full speed along already halfway through February. And my guest on this edition of Political Points is Ron Schinners. A lot of people approaching me in the mall wanting to see Ron and Ron's thoughts. Ron was a candidate for mayor in the 2010 election. Ron, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me back again, Andy.
No problem, Ron. It's always great to have you on the show. So you were, what I heard after the election, you were called a spoiler in the community. Your quick post-election thoughts of what happened?
Well, like I say, during the last week of the election, I managed to distribute out through the news, not the news, through this week and the post office, 50,000 pieces of information that I released, and
right.
That shifted the vote 11%.
Right.
Which, you know, when the election was Mr. Keiko lost the election by 816 votes. And I was predicted to get not more than 800 votes, and I ended up with 2,068 votes, which was kind of like the spoiler in the election.
Right. Well, from what I've heard, you definitely had an impact in the final result of the mayoralty race. Now, we're going to cover a lot of ground here, Ron, municipal, federal, and provincial. Your quick thoughts on the performance of council so far, and
well, we've only had 3 meetings so far, and what I found so far, it looks like we're on board for another dysfunctional council and just another group of rubber stampers. You know, I have to say that Mayor Debbie, she has done an excellent job
Right.
chairing the council meetings, and she's done. I give her an A for that. You know
dysfunction, though. I disagree with you, Ron.
I
think this council is getting away from that.
Well,
how are they dysfunctional?
Well, okay, let's go look at this West End Community Center.
Right.
Okay, I'm not against it. I'm all for it. But it's just the fact is that they're building on top of the aquifer.
Right.
And they're doing pile driving down into the sandstone.
Right.
The thing is, that is under pressure.
Right.
And if they happen to pound through that, all the cap water well, artesian wells will blow, and we'll have massive flooding throughout the West End.
How many wells are there in the West End?
Well, you look at almost every house in the West End, north of west of the railway tracks, at one time was on well water.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And most of them are capped down because the city put sewers and water through there, but those wells blow, or they get contaminated, or you're building on a construction site, if any chemicals and stuff from the building material chemicals get spilt or something and seep down into that soggy, mucky dirt down there, that clay, and sink into contaminate the water. Mm-hmm. Now, people say, no, it's not going to happen, but hey, a lot of things don't happen. You know, a lot of things happen, that way, and I think if the wells get contaminated, right. The wells got contaminated over there off baseline.
What do you think council should do then? Study it a little bit more?
Well, actually, the thing was Frank Mando had called for in the second meeting, had asked for a deferral for the new councillors to look at the reports that he held in his hand.
Right.
And none of them looked at
They didn't take the time.
No, they didn't take the time to look at the reports. They know it all. And I'm saying is, the mayor is in the position. She was concerned about having to delay the construction and creating costs. The mayor has the authority to call an emergency meeting at any time, and she could have done that in the delay so that the new councillors could look at the reports, inform themselves of what it is, and if they don't need it, they could get people to look over it and tell them exactly what it's about. That's all it would take.
All right, let's move on quickly to the provincial scene. We will have a provincial, and we could have a federal election. Provincially, your opinion of how David Orzetti has performed in the last 4 years?
Oh, David Orzetti, flashball of Dave, as I like to call him.
Yes, you have coined that expression.
And I find that, hey, this is this is a safe riding for the Liberals, and they're pumping money into this
Right.
riding. I mean, look at how many millions have they pumped in here? 6.2 million the other day.
Right.
I mean, for that fire base they're going to build here, training center, But we got to look at something else here. Okay, with that here, he made a mistake the other day, is when he brought in the Minister of Natural Resources, what's her name, Lindley or something like that?
Lynn
something
Wilson or something, yeah.
Whatever her name was. And they sat down with these, you heard this, on what they call Ontario Outdoors people?
Right.
Okay, what the Minister of Natural Resources they've done is blocked all access to the Crown land to outdoors people and set aside for these remote owners to have exclusive access to these Crown lands.
Right.
They even so much as gone and taken out bridges and culverts to stop people from getting access in Crown land.
Right.
Where was David Orazietti sticking up for those people? He has on this thing, standing up for us type thing.
Right.
He's not standing up. If you're standing, he pulled party line. He didn't defend us people in Northern Ontario over this.
Right.
And Sault Ste. Marie riding.
Well, isn't Tony Martin the same way? He votes party line and not what the constituents want. Tony, both of these MP and the MPP have done that in the past.
You know how I feel about the Dippers. Hey,
Right.
like Taliban Jack and the Dippers. Those guys are. Let's get back to
let's touch on
Orazietti.
the federal scene. Is there going to be a federal election this year?
Well, actually, that's hard to say. That's all depends up to Jack Layton and the Dippers or Iggy if they want to drop the writ on these guys. But like I said, Harper has a way of getting around these guys. The guy's got the longest minority government in the history of the
Yes,
country.
he does.
Hey,
He's beaten Lester Pearson.
No, he's beating them. Well, look at him. There's people out there that absolutely hate him, and there's people like myself. I think the man's fantastic. I mean, when you look at us, Canada, hey, we didn't have a real estate crisis like they had in the United States.
I'm getting the red light, Ron.
Yeah.
We could do 4 shows here.
Oh, definitely.
We'll have you on again. Thanks very much.
Yeah, okay.
That's the former, he was a mayoralty candidate in 2010, and Ron Schinners. People want to hear what he has to say. Thanks, Ron, for being on the show. And the February 21st edition coming up on Monday, we'll have Councillor Frank Fata of Ward 5. So we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.